Okay, so one thing we've been working on is if you have some points, then you can find a equation that goes to those points. So sometimes we'll call it modeling. Sometimes we'll just say find an equation that goes to these points. Sometimes we'll give you a picture of a whole graph and ask you to find the equation. And so let's just come up with some random points. So I'll say f of 2 equals 5, f of 3 equals 7, and f of negative 1 equals 1. I just made up some random things. And I just want you to remember that the f of x notation, for some reason people are I don't know, intimidated by it or something. It's really just the same as if I told you 2 comma 5, 3 comma 7, and negative 1 comma 1. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to just give you a parabola that goes through those 3 points. As long as my 3 points aren't all in a line, I'm able to make a parabola go through them. And one way to do this, it's nice if you know the x-intercepts, then you can do factored form. It's nice if you know the vertex, then you can do vertex form. But if you're just given 3 random points, you can set up standard form like this. Take your y value, plug it in for y. Take your x value, plug it in for x, and then go from there. So 5 equals 4 times a, because that's 2 squared, plus 2b plus c. Okay, not much more I can do with that. Now let's write our second equation using my second point. I'll circle it in purple to make it clear. 7 equals a times 3 squared plus 3b plus c. So 7 equals 9a plus 3b plus c. I'm going to grab my red equation and copy it right down here again because they have a lot of pieces in common. If I subtract those 2 equations from each other, 7 minus 5, 9 minus 4, 3 minus 2, c minus c. Okay, now that's pretty cool. In fact, I can go a little bit further here and I can solve for a in terms of b, or vice versa. I'm going to go ahead and solve for b, and I'll get 2 minus 5a is equal to b. Cool. Now I'm going to take that and use the third piece of information that I haven't used yet. F of negative 1 equals 1. 1 is a times negative 1 squared plus b times negative 1 plus c. That means 1 is a minus b plus c. Let's just go ahead and grab my red equation again, bring it down here. 5 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. I'm going to subtract those just like we did before. 1 minus 5, a minus 4a, negative b minus 2b, c minus c is gone just like before. It's easy to get lost in this process, but we're just trying to combine all 3 equations together, come up with some sort of substitution like we have right here, and then drop that in for the letter b. Okay, so here's where we're at after we do that substitution. Negative 4 is negative 3a minus 3b. Now we've got an equation that's all in one letter. Of course, you don't have to do this just for the letter a. That's just the way that made sense to me when I was making this video. There's other ways you can do it. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. I'll get 12a. Now I'll add 6 to both sides. I'll get 2. divide by 12, I get 1/6. Okay, take that value, plug it back in here to get b. 2 minus 5a is 2 minus 5/6. Let's make them both out of sixths, so I have 12/6, because 2 is 12/6. 2 times 6 is 12. So I have 7/6 as my b value. Last thing is finding C, excuse me. So I've got A, I've got B. I can find C using any equation. I liked this blue equation. This one looked pretty easy. So I go 1 equals A minus B plus C. So 1 equals negative 6/6 plus C. 6/6 is 1. Add 1 to both sides, and you get 2 is equal to C. So if I did that right, when I go back here and type in my equation, let's do it this way. I type in my equation, y equals 1/6, that's my a value, so x squared. 7/6 is my y value, or is my b value, 7/6x plus 2. It goes through those 3 dots right there. Now, you can do this on your calculator just by typing in your data points into the stat menu and hitting quadratic regression, quadrag, just like when you did line of best fit, you did lenreg. But I think it's important to see what your calculator is doing, because it's really solving a system of equations, just like something you've done many times in the past. The only difference is there's 3 equations, so it gets a little bit more involved when you go through all the steps of algebra. So let me know what was confusing. Happy to help out.